I just think with Randy Moss in this field, good conditions, 2 weeks off, I think he's going to have a big game, and I think he's going to have a big day. I don't love the Giants secondary. I know they've played fairly well here. I just don't think that Moss, I think he's going to be a big factor in this game. I don't think the Giants secondary can hold him down. You are not going to tell me that this team that has scored point after point after point, that scored 7 consecutive possessions against Jacksonville, ran out the clock against San Diego when they could have scored a lot more on a windy day with a quarterback with a bad ankle. You are not going to tell me that this football team here on Sunday afternoon is not getting in the 30s. You're not telling me that. I know you Giant fans want to have your 3rd championship. Dennis and Yonkers is up there praying and all those kinds of things. Doing the Nirvana. I know that. I know you think you got a special team. You like the Magic Carpet Ride. You like the Karma. You like all these things. Written for dead Coughlin. Written for dead Manning. Now you're big Coughlin and Manning fans. This will be ugly. Patriots 49, Giants 7. Sunday afternoon in Arizona.
I am an enormous Tom Brady fan. I have been. As Dog knows, I've been on him since the day he took over. I told Dog he was going to be really good. I saw something in him, and I just thought I didn't think he was going to be this, but I did think he was going to be good. He's going to be the MVP. He's going to go like, 23 for 32 for like 310 and 4 touchdowns and roll off into the sunset with that hot model. 35-17. I think the question will be, well, they'll get down inside the red zone enough times to make it interesting. The question is, will they score when they get down there? Oh, that's the
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? The Mike and the Mad Dog radio program. Good to have you aboard on this 4th day of February, the year 2008. A happy day if you're a New York sports fan. Mike and Chris will take you throughout the afternoon. The Yes folks, of course, are here, too. What a wonderful job they do with our pals today. We're going to send Eddie Erickson home. He's been sick for 3 days, so off he goes. But we'll have Sal Licata in there, Dove Kramer in there. We'll put some other people in the board in that room as Mike and I will take it throughout the afternoon. Great job by Joe and Evan, by the way. Give them a lot of credit. They did the extra hour here. They had to stay out in Phoenix, so they did a wonderful job. Good job. Those two, and they worked all weekend, too. Mike and Chris will take you throughout the 6:30. Mike was nice enough to have me on his show last night, so we discussed this for an hour. And we will discuss it for the next 4.5, maybe with more of your calls this time.
Yeah, we'll get a lot of calls.
But give you a chance to get on, both of us, especially me. I know you're all over that.
And we got Phil.
In fact, you won a championship.
And Phil Sims will come on to analyze the game for us a little later in the show.
We called Phil, so we're going to put him up a little bit later on, too.
And it was, hey, you know what I felt like, Dog? I was thinking about it just driving in now. I mean, we got home this morning, Dog and I, and, Dog got a longer trip home because we landed on Long Island. And after I played with my kids for a while, I took a nap for like 2 hours. But when I was driving in now, I was thinking, it was the first time, I think, at least for me, that since Super Bowl 25, where I actually felt like a fan. I was in the stands. I was rooting. I was going crazy. I was in a Giants section. I had Archie and Cooper right behind me, during the game. I wanted the Pats to lose, because I don't like them. And I always have liked Eli and pull for him. I've liked this Giant team a little more now. It's grown on me. Some of the young guys like Bradshaw and Boss and some of these guys.
You can live with Burris and Strahan, I guess.
Especially, Strahan, I got to admit, he played great. But I actually felt like a fan. I really did. It was a fun experience. It was great. The Giant fans were going crazy, and it was a remarkable game. It really was. It was a great 7-3 game. As Dog said last night, I'm mic'd up, when you get those kind of lead changes in the fourth quarter and drives like that, and the defense was brilliant. And then, though, the defense, though, did yield the touchdown. And the only reason the defense is going to get those kudos is because their quarterback bailed them out.
That's a good point.
If Brady sticks it in there, he's a hero. He did drive the length of the field and stick it in with 2 minutes left.
He did.
And there's the perfect season, Tom Brady. But Eli said no. So, in the end, the defense, the pass rush, ferocious. But Eli is the one who kept the Pats from being perfect. And, of course, Tyree, who made, as I watched it this morning in slow-mo, one of the remarkable catches of all time.
Well, they both
that play is one of the most, from him getting out of the grass.
That's it.
And then making that play. That is literally and figuratively, in every way you can even expound on it, that is one of the great plays in football history. It was remarkable.
I will give the Giant fan this. I was neutral in the game. So, I mean, I can't say that I was crazy one way or the other. Part of me was rooting for the Patriots to go unbeaten. Part of me was rooting for the Giants, and I like Mr. Mara. I like a lot of these scenarios with the team. I love Ernie, so part of me was rooting there too. But I'm not going to sit there and say I was unabashed rooting for the Giants. That would not be consistent with me, with yours truly. But as far as the whole game is concerned, to me it really comes down to two things, and we'll go through every single play for you if you wish. It comes down to the idea that I thought the defensive line. Listen, this is not breaking any news. I've heard everybody say the same thing. The defensive line set the tone early in this game.
Absolutely.
They banged Brady around. They killed that Patriot offensive line. They did have 5 sacks, hit him many more times than that. Defensive line set a tone. Strahan's part of that. So we got to be fair and give Strahan his kudos. And then Manning had not just one drive. He had 2 drives in the fourth quarter. He had a great pass to Boss, which was for 49 yards, so much for making a big deal about Boss doing, warehouse commercials. I'm not the only boss in town. Here comes Bruce Springsteen at the Meadowlands. When I made a big deal about how the Giants partied after that Packer win. That's number one. That was a good drive. And then, of course, the drive at the end, too. And the Tyree catch is Tommy Agee, Ron Swoboda. This is 69 Mets. And the other play that is unsung is that 3rd and 11 play to
Smith.
Oh, that's a huge play. Eli rolling right, gets the first down. That's an unheralded play. And Smith, had a big drop. That was not Eli's fault. He played well.
Yeah, 5 catches.
So, I mean, in essence, the Patriots let the Giants hang around. And the Giants did what they do. I mean, I think John Mara is correct. I think it's the greatest win in the history of the franchise. I think it's much bigger than 80, based on the fact that 80 team, 90 team had some expectations to it.
Listen, the 90 team, the 89 team
was still a very good team.
Listen, the 90 team was a very good team.
Had Parcells that had some things.
The 90 team had a lot of remnants of the 86 team, which was a great team.
Right.
And the 89 team thought they were going to win the Super Bowl. I can tell you right now. I mean, the 89 team, they thought they were. A lot of people will tell you that of that group that they thought the 89 team was the best team in the whole Parcells era.
Right.
And that was the Flipper Anderson game, and that was a heartbreak.
Oh, terrible loss.
That was a very good team. And
plus, the 88 team wasn't bad.
Right,
they lost the last game of the year and got knocked out.
This was not like this year with the Giants. But, it was funny, dog. We learned a lot from that game in that, the earmarks, when you look at it, were there with the Pats. They were not the same team the last couple of weeks.
Little stale, Mike.
They were not there with Brady. Brady was not throwing a deep ball the last couple of weeks in the playoffs and stuff like that, and he wasn't good throwing it. He made a couple decent throws last night, but he didn't take any excuses, which is good. Belichick was his old rotten self in the postgame.
Well, I want to play those cuts later.
He's a bad loser. He's always been a bad loser. And I'll tell you something, it wasn't a great game for Belichick, and I'll tell you one of the reasons why, and I was saying this to the people in the stands during the game, having been a viewer of Belichick's work for 25 years. Belichick is a brilliant tactician, and you will see this many times. Whatever they do on the first drive, Belichick will always gather, when he was a coordinator or when he's been a head coach, will always gather his defense after that first drive the other team has, and will go to work and really redesign stuff on the flow.
Right.
From what he's seen from the offense early. He's brilliant at that. And you will always see him back there while the offense is on the field. Problem was, Belichick is not the brilliant offensive coach. And last night, they did not react well enough to the Giant pressure and react to get that changed. And I thought maybe they would come out the second half and go to that power game they showed against the Chargers, but for whatever reason, they didn't want to do that against the Giants. Now, maybe that wouldn't have worked against the Giants, and they knew that, and I didn't know that. But I expected to see a big change a lot more max protection, a lot more two-man routes. Let's just work with Moss. Let's work with some play action off the running game. Let's pound it. They didn't do that. They stayed pretty much where they were. So their reaction to what the Giants doing, we always get the Patriots enormous credit for their adjustments. We didn't get them on offense. They didn't adjust well last night to what the Giants were doing the whole game.
And let's give them two other things.